What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Sin Insane channel here with Lamar West. Here to give you insight on all things faith-based, culture-based, entertainment, just a wide range of things, right? And today we're going to be talking about something that is going on in the culture of hip-hop and black culture, and that is the new J. Cole album, and that is the discourse around the J. Cole album. Man, okay, so to give you guys some background, I'm a journalist of over 10 plus years now. I hold a bachelor's in journalism and media studies, right? So this has been journalism, media, communications, writing, broadcasting. All of this has been my field of expertise, I guess you could say, for the last 10 plus years. Educated, trained, experienced. That's what I've done from my education to writing for local newspapers, to writing for BuzzFeed, MTV, PBS, Blavity, all types of stuff, right? And what I find very disappointing around this J. Cole album is the discourse, the media around it, right? I'm not going to get into whether you like the album or whether you dislike the album, but I'm going to get into the discourse. So to give you guys a little background on, to give you guys just a little background on journalism and media, right? Let me go over some rules of thumb for journalism, right? The number one rule of journalism is being objective. It is objectively reporting the information with removing your human biasness, your human judgment, your human subjectiveness, your human emotion. The number one rule of journalism is to report objective information, right? And I'm seeing such a lack of that in media today. And also, number two is cite your sources. You have to be able to cite your sources. You have to be able to provide credible information and cite those sources. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to verbally or writtenly cite every source every time you put out a piece of information, but you cannot put out information unless you're able to cite the source. And I grew up in a time where you have to have at least three sources, right? So that really prevented people from just putting out misinformation and putting out information that isn't credible, right? We were taught to put out information, and we don't have to always cite the source when we first put out the information, but at least have the sources available if we need to cite them, as so we can prove that this is factual, credible information, right? So in today's landscape of media, where 90% of media is podcasts from people who are uneducated, untrained, and unexperienced when it comes to journalism and media and broadcasting, you're getting everything that is the opposite of what journalism is in its purest form. To be honest, the truest form of journalism left today is local news. And I understand the pros and cons of that, right? The cons is that the local news is boring. It can be depressing at times. It's not entertaining. They're just giving you the information. But the pros of it is that they're objectively reporting the information. They're telling you exactly what's going on, exactly how it is. They're not giving their opinions. They're not giving their subjective human biasness. They're not pushing certain agendas or pushing an intention. They're literally giving you the information. They're going to say, hey, there's a car crash on 288. They're going to say, hey, there was a break-in at the local bakery. They're going to say, hey, the local kid ran for 175 yards tonight and 2 touchdowns. What they're not going to do, let me show you an example of difference. Objective local news will tell you, hey, Chris Johnson ran for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns tonight. What the sports podcast on YouTube will tell you is that Chris Johnson ran for 175 yards tonight and 2 touchdowns, but he can't even compare to Barry Sanders back in the day. Yeah, this 175 was cool, but he can't do that against defenses back in the day. Or he can't do that against this team. Or he did it, but yeah, Doug Williams back in the day ran for 250 yards versus the same team. That's what the issue is. That's not objectively reporting the information. Nobody is asking you to draw a comparison or draw a reference point to other players of the past or stuff like that, right? That is the distinctive difference. And that is what media today lacks. It's just that basic principle of understanding, you have a job to report the information. We're not asking you to compare it to somebody from 10 years ago, 20 years ago. We're not asking you to give reference points to what you prefer. We're not asking for your human subjectiveness, right? And that is the issue. Now, granted, again, the entertaining part is the caveat to this, and why it's a catch-22 is because what makes podcasts and media today entertaining is because you get people's real opinions and because you get different outlooks and different narratives, right? However, where it becomes an issue is that podcasts today, they push off their narratives and they push off their information as if it is factual. They're not saying, hey, just so you guys know, this is incredible. This isn't fact based. This is just my opinion. You click on the clip, you watch a podcast, and you listen and you take it and digest it and retain that information as if that is the factual information. That's the end all be all, right? And a lot of times people won't leave the podcast and go do your own research. You're just watching your favorite YouTuber, you get the information, and now that's how you form your opinion. That's the problem. So, and also what this causes is that everybody wants to use what is clickbaity. So instead of coming up with a new angle, a new creative narrative or anything like that, whatever the topic is that they saw on ESPN First Take, they're going to take that same topic and discuss it on their platform to get more clicks. Whatever they saw on Complex, they're going to take it and now make the same J. Cole headline on their video to get more views, right? They're going to repeat the same narratives over and over that they keep on hearing just so they can run up their views. That is just how the game works now. It's just algorithm, it's clickbait. So you're not getting true, genuine opinions anymore. You're not getting true, genuine opinions because you get people's opinions on other people's opinions. Like, oh, I heard whoever rap. I heard Joe Budden say this. Now you're giving your opinion on what Joe Budden said. Instead of giving your opinion on the J. Cole album, you're giving your opinion on what Joe Budden said about the J. Cole album. And it's like, sometimes you do want to hear these things, but it just lacks the level of basic journalism principles. Like, how about you focus on telling us what do you think about the album? Don't tell us what you think about Twitter. Don't tell us what you think about what Joe Budden said. Don't tell me what you think you saw on Instagram. Tell me what you think about the album. And guess what? Tell me about the music. So let me get, okay. The reason I'm using the J. Cole example is because, one, I've seen way more positive reviews than I've seen negative. And you can tell that with the amount of streams. He had his 7 number one album, which is a record. Only 6 other rappers or 6 other artists overall. I think 6 other rappers. 6 other rappers have had that accolade. And there's only, I forget the amount of artists overall, but he's one of 6 rappers in the history of hip hop to have 7 number one albums. So if you look at the streams, the physical sales, he had over 100,000 physical sales. You look at it going number one. You look at it, his tour is about to go on pre-sale, and it's looking like it's going to do great numbers as well. He's doing arenas worldwide, 50 plus dates worldwide. You can just objectively look at it and say, oh, well, he has more fans than haters, or he has more positive reviews than negative reviews because we have the stats to back that up, right? But in regards to people's opinion and discourse around the album, I've seen much more positive than negative, but I've seen a lot of people run with the same negative narratives. And the reason it doesn't make sense is because, one, it's just not rooted in any real, genuine journalism or broadcasting or media commentary. It's literally taking narratives that you've seen on the internet and running with the same narrative. You're just repeating the same narrative over. So, for example, if I was sitting on a panel with other people who dislike J. Cole album, I watched I think his name is The Company Man. I watched a panel of his, and he had a bunch of people on there who I think they did an awful job. I hate to call people out, but that's the example I'm going to use because that's one that I watched that triggered this. And I think they just did a terrible job. I think that the panel, everybody used one word. It was expectations. They all said, oh, I expected J. Cole to do this. But they all had one thing in common as well, except Rob Marketing. They all said that I'm not a fan of J. Cole. They all said, I don't like J. Cole. I'm not a fan of J. Cole, but I expected this. I expected him to do what he did in 2014 Forest Hills Drives. I expected what he did on Born Center, right? So this is just like, if I was on this panel, the one question I would say to everybody is, if you don't like somebody, you're not a fan of them, why in the world would you have expectations on this person that you already dislike? Let me make it make sense. I don't like Tyler, the Creator's music. Tyler, the Creator is one of the biggest rappers in the world. He sells out arenas. He has big first week numbers. He has big ticket sales. He has big album sales. All of this. He has big impact when he drops. The band just had LeBron James on his last video. He had clips. He had all these huge artists. I don't like him, but mind you, so if Tyler the Creator puts out an album, one thing I'm not doing, I'm not forcing myself to listen to a Tyler the Creator album because I don't like Tyler the Creator. So already when I'm listening to these people talk and they're saying that they're not fans, but they made themselves listen to the album, that's already wrong, because now you're listening with the ear of I don't like this person. You're listening with the ear of you want this person to convince you to like them or convert you into somebody that likes them, which already makes no sense. If you don't like somebody, I'm not pressing play on Tyler the Creator. I don't like him. I have no reason to press play on Tyler the Creator when I know I don't like him, right? And then secondly, being that I don't like Tyler the Creator, I'm not a fan. I'm not listening to his album and placing expectations on what I need him to do or what I want him to do to make me like him or make me a fan of his. His album is not meant to convert me, a non-fan, into a fan. His album is for his fans. So when I'm listening to these people talk and they're like, oh, I'm not a big fan of J. Cole, but I did listen to the album, and it just it's this and that, and blah, blah, blah. Like, everything they're talking about is comparing it to Kendrick and all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you're missing the whole point. But you're sitting with non-journalists who aren't going to press back on you. It's simple. Again, I don't like Tyler the Creator. So in no world can I put expectations on what he needs to do or what he should do on his album to convert me into a fan, because I don't like him. I'm not a fan. His albums are for his fans. So if you don't like J. Cole and you listen to his album and you still don't like J. Cole, guess what? His album is for his fans. He's not making music to convert non-fans into fans. He's not making music. He's not making his last album to convert people from haters to lovers of J. Cole. That doesn't even make sense. He's making his album to speak to who? His fans, the people that are going to buy his tickets and buy his albums and buy his merch and buy his vinyls and X, Y, Z. He's not making music to convert you non-fans into fans. That doesn't even make sense. So for you to go into an album for somebody you dislike, and you have expectations on, oh, I expected him to do this or say this or talk about this or rap this way. In what world does that make sense? How are you putting expectations on somebody who you're not a fan of? Why would he shift away from his fan base and what has gotten him to this point to appease to people that don't like him? That doesn't even make sense. But this is what happens when you just sit amongst a bunch of internet people who don't have any media training. People just get to say whatever they want to say. It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense for a non-fan to put expectations on somebody that they're not a fan of. I have no say. And my opinion on Tyler the Creator holds no value in regards to what I expect of him, because I'm not a fan of his. He's not making music for me. So it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter what I think, but also just the word expectation. I can listen to Tyler the Creator and say, yeah, sonically, I didn't like it. Subject matter, I didn't like it. Oh, I thought the album was too long or too short, blah, blah. Musically, I can give that opinion. But if I was to listen and say, well, I expected him to do this, rap this way, or talk about this, or I expected it to sound this way, it's like, wait, what? Where did I get these expectations from? Because I'm not even a fan of his. How am I putting expectations on him? How am I telling him what he should do when I'm not a fan of his? No, what you should do as an artist is cater to your fans and the people that like you. You should do what they want you to do, not me, not the hater. Don't prove me wrong. I don't care. I'm not going to like you either way. But again, it just makes no sense to place expectations on somebody I don't like and tell them what I expect of them or what they need to do. I don't listen to Lady Gaga. I have no expectations for a Lady Gaga album, or I have no say in what she needs to do or what she should do, because she doesn't make music for me. If you're not a J. Cole fan, if he doesn't make music for you, how are you finding a way to put expectations on this man? That makes no sense. And again, everybody's viewpoint is just so jaded and they're so fixated on this whole Kendrick beef and Drake beef and what he should have did and blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. And it's like, bro, that is such a small, we're talking about a man with 7 number 1 albums. Something that out of the hundreds of rappers and thousands of artists, only a select few people have accomplished this. That is the battle is such a small part, such a small part of this man's career. We're talking about 50 plus million records sold. We're talking about huge tours. We're talking about 7 number 1 albums. And you're fixated on this one part of a battle and what you think he should have done. So now you're trying to use that to dictate what he needs to do going forward, even though you're not a fan of his. It makes no sense. It's silly. It makes no sense. And people are making up narratives and making up sentiments to further their point, further agenda. And it's just it's distasteful, it's silly, it's sad. And like I'm seeing people like you know, oh, J. Cole is this and this and that. Like they had the question of, is J. Cole hip hop on that the good company, whatever his name is, I don't care. Whatever it was, they're talking about some, is he even hip hop at this point? It's like, bro, like we have to, like, certain stuff is blasphemous and we have to stop. And black media, I'm challenging black media to just do better overall, because we complain so much about like crabs in a bucket, and how people talk about us and view us and X, Y, and Z. And it's like we are a part of the issue when it comes to media. Like we choose to focus on the negativity. We choose to continue to spew out the negativity. Like, for example, with J. Cole, people have been complaining about hip hop for years and how hip hop is dead and we're losing the true art form and it's trash and it's weak and it's all McDonald's music, fast food music. It's like, okay, we have somebody like J. Cole who is a gift to hip hop. He's a rhymer, a lyricist, a storyteller. He tells about his environment. He gives his social observations. He is the true essence of what hip hop is, right? And we sitting here fixating on what he should have did with the beef. And it's like, bro, what? Like, this is why hip hop is going to continue to die down, because we have somebody who's a true hip hop artist, but yet and still we choose to focus on what? The battle. Huh? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. Like, what are we doing here? What are we trying to achieve here? Like, if that's granted, people are going to talk about it. The battle happened. People are going to have their positive things or negative things to say. So I understand that element of it. It was such a big moment. You can't erase it. You have to discuss it. You have to talk about it. But at what point are we going to say, okay, I don't agree with what he did. I don't agree with what he did in the battle, but yet and still, we're still gonna champion this black artist, this black hip hop artist, because at the end of the day, like, we need more people like him. We have no forevision right now of who's gonna be the next J. Cole, the next Kendrick. None. And why is because we give more criticism and more slander and smear campaigns to somebody like J. Cole than people who make poisonous, toxic music for our community. It makes no sense. Like, it's just silly. It's bad. It's silly. The discourse is lazy. It's not rooted in real media or real journalism. It's just the same narratives talked about over and over and over. Nobody's coming with any creative angles. Nobody's trying to come with human aspect angles of understanding human emotions, duality of men, as well as skill set and lyricism, plus stuff behind the scenes with what goes on in the industry, right? And again, somebody like me who I've worked in the entertainment industry, I've seen what goes on behind closed doors. Like, I know what happens. I've seen streams be faked. I've seen people get paid off for certain things. I've seen bots get purchased. I've seen stuff like people don't know. So it's like, we're not hearing from people who know the industry behind the scenes. We're not hearing from people who have the capability of understanding just the human capacity and the duality of people, or looking at stuff from all angles. We're not hearing from people who are breaking down lyrics and bars. Like, we're hearing just people run with same internet narratives over and over. And it's silly. It's bad. It's trash. And it's like, people like Rob Marketing, great job at real journalism. You listen to a Rob Marketing video, he's breaking down lyrics, breaking down bars. Go look at the recent article from Mimi, the music blogger. She's from London. She's over in the UK. She wrote a beautiful piece on the album, on the J. Cole album. It's people out here who do give good reviews, but what seems to pick up the most just motion and momentum is just the negativity. And it's just silly. We got to stop. The album is a phenomenal album. I love the album. Even if somebody disliked the album, they say, oh, it's too long. Like, I got my critiques of the album as well. But what I'm not going to do is, like, for example, somebody on the Good Company or the Company Man, whatever his name was. No, my apologies for buffering your name, but it was somebody on there who was like, I didn't even listen to the full album. I got to like song 10, 11. It's 24 songs. Why are you bringing up people on here? Why is somebody on your panel giving a review of an album that they have not even listened to? It's just stuff like that where I'm like, bro, we have to stop with the bad media. It's terrible. We have to stop. We have to do better. And I just challenge people, if you're going to be a person in this media space, podcast and whatever, try to do a little due diligence. Even if it's just you watching some videos, reading a few books, looking at some interviews from journalists, try to do a little due diligence on your credibility in regards to, let me give actual musical breakdowns. Ugh, sorry. Everybody calm down. Okay. Give some lyric breakdowns, sonic breakdowns, BPM, concept breakdowns of the concept of albums, X, Y, and Z. Maybe give it a rating. Except the whole thing, this discourse, is it a classic or is it not? Is it mid or is it classic? It's like that's the only way we rate albums down. What about, oh, I like it, or I thought it was cool, or I didn't like it, or I think it's phenomenal, or whatever. It's not even that. It's just it's either classic or it's a mid album. It's like, bro, since when was that ever the judge? Like, come on now. So it's just like, yo, just try to do your due diligence if you're going to be a person in this media space. Try to not just repeat the same lazy narratives over and over, or find stuff on Twitter, talking points on Twitter, and run with that. Like, everybody, I'm just challenging everybody to just step it up, step up the standard of media if you're going to be in this media space. So that's my opinion on the J. Cole discourse. I'm just challenging everybody to step it up. Get more creative with your takes. Everything doesn't have to be a comparison. When you're talking about one person, everything doesn't have to be a comparison to other people, to other rappers. I'm talking about one rapper, and I can't even get a sentence out without comparing him to another rapper. That's just not good journalism. It's not good media. Or you're running with narratives that you can't even, you don't even know if they're credible. You just saw it on Twitter somewhere or saw it on TikTok. That's not good media. Or you're only discussing what you saw Joe Budden say about it. You're giving your opinion on somebody else's opinion. That's not good media. Like, come on now, guys. We gotta do better. But that's why you got me, because I'm gonna show y'all how to really do it. So like, subscribe, tap in with the Sentencing Collection, the Sentencing channel. It's your boy Lamar West. And until next time, guys. Catch you next time.